if you truly want to be happy, if you are someone that is struggling and you just want to be happy, then this video is for you, because I'm going to help you. I'm currently in Bali, and I've been in Bali for the last 3 weeks, almost month now. I've been traveling for over a month now. And honestly, what I've realized is that happiness is an inside job. It doesn't matter what you do, what you achieve, where you go, how much money you have, the success you've made, the relationships you have. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. You could still be very, very unhappy. And I've seen people who have it all and who are still unhappy. And I, at the start of this year, really thrived in my business. Really thrived in my coaching business. I was making more money than ever. I was having more clients than ever. And I was still really unhappy. And what I realized was the problem with this was that I was constantly chasing something outside of me. I was constantly chasing the next best thing. This had been a theme for my whole life. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. So I was never happy because I was never satisfied, and it was never enough. So everything that I was doing, I was always chasing the next best thing. So even if I did achieve it, or even when I did achieve it, I would go on to the next thing. What can I do next? And I think this is the illusion that our mind has created, our ego, is that it's that rush of wanting to achieve something, I think, more than actually achieving it, that we're getting that hit, if that makes sense. That feeling of and there's an ambulance sound, I don't know if you can hear it, that's confirmation. But there is this feeling of needing, wanting so badly that thing, that it's a rush, it's an addiction. And then we become addicted to chasing the next best thing, that it just becomes very chaotic, and it becomes a loop, a never-ending loop that's impossible to achieve, and you'll never be happy and you'll never be satisfied. So the biggest thing that I've learned while traveling is that it doesn't matter what you do. Me being here was just taking me a long time because I was so scared and I was anxious traveling by myself. It's taken a good year for me to build myself up to get here. But the fact that I am here and I couldn't even appreciate it, that was such a big sign for me to be oh, I've got work to do. I need to fucking fix what's going on in here internally. And that made me realize, okay, well, if I can't even, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and if this is something that's not even making me happy, then nothing will. Nothing will. The money won't. I had the relationship, I had the business, I'm overseas, I have it all. Nothing. And so if this is something that you're struggling with, then you're not alone. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to share with you what I suggest from my experience, and I mentor people as well. But I genuinely believe that happiness is an inside job. Your mind and your nervous system are the two things. Your mindset and your nervous system are the two biggest things that you can work on in your life. Because one, your nervous system likes chaos. Your nervous system is probably just so used to chaos, stress, anxiety, all of that. And until you learn to fucking slow down and calm down, you will be addicted to that, and it will be very hard to get out of that. And I think that's a big part of being able to just truly be happy. I see people traveling overseas and they can't going on holidays and they can't even relax. And me 4 years ago, my life was so different. I couldn't relax. Even being here now, I still had to remind myself, relax. It's not about doing more. It's about being. And I think when you can master being, you can truly get whatever you want. You can truly live a fulfilling, spontaneous, happy, joyful life. Because when you're in your most authentic energy and you don't need to do anything, you just are it, then you become a magnet and things find you. And that's something that I've been like, this is what I'm mastering right now, and it's really exciting, and it's like it's testing my ego, that's for sure. But anyway, 4 years ago, my life was so different. I was working in real estate. I was busy. I was like, from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, I was busy, literally on it all the time. Like, I did not have a break. And most people that, like, especially the people I've worked with, they don't know how to relax. They don't. And we let our ego, our mind, like, run the show. And our nervous system's in fight or flight. Stress, chaos. You can't even relax. It's like your dog, like, it's like training a dog to sit and stay. That's how you have to train your nervous system. That's crucial. The second thing is your mindset. You know, having that voice inside your head that's telling you can't do these things, I'm not good enough, I need to chase the next best thing, that's going to make you miserable for the rest of your life. I can tell you that. So, what I would suggest is to start observing your thoughts, start observing your mindset, your beliefs. What are these stories that are coming up in your mind, and are they true? When you can realize, when you become aware of your thoughts and you realize the thoughts that come up on a daily, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and they come up and you just observe, you'll be so shocked. You'll be like, I'm never going unconscious again. When you can learn to become consciously aware of your unconscious thoughts, that is when your life can truly begin to change. Those beliefs are making you unhappy because you believe them. And that the wild thing is that you can seriously unsubscribe to them. It's not as easy as that. But you can honestly completely change what you believe, because these beliefs that you've taken on as your own, it's just something that you've like picked up along the way in childhood, your environment, society, all of that. But it's not the truth. It's not who you are. And that is why it is so exciting. Like, it is so exciting when I say this, because you don't have to identify as that broke, sad, unhappy, miserable, depressed version of you anymore. You don't. You really don't. You don't have to. And for me, 4 years ago, I remember experiencing this, and I was like, I was heavily into Neville Goddard, and there was someone else, I can't remember, Dr. Murphy, Murphy. Anyway, it was all about the mind, and it was like about affirmations and stuff. But what fascinated me was like these beliefs that I really thought were my own. Like, I really thought I was dumb. I really thought I was ugly. I really thought that I was like, no one liked me, that I was useless. I was going through a really dark and depressing moment in my life. But I was like, I don't have to identify, like, I don't have to believe this. These don't have to be my thoughts anymore. And I remember there was an inkling of light 4 years ago, and I was like, I'm going to dedicate myself to becoming consciously aware of these thoughts. And I had never gone unconscious again. Obviously, like, you know, I go unconscious sometimes, but I've become so good at becoming consciously aware of my thoughts so that I can rewire them and no longer identify them. And I think that's the most powerful thing that you can do, because your beliefs influence your perception creates your reality. So everything that you experience in your life, it's perceived through your conscious awareness, your perception, you perceive it. So this event that you go to, like, let's say a concert, your best friend could go to the same concert. You guys are going to have very different experiences, because you're going to perceive it really differently, because your perception is influenced by your beliefs. So your whole entire experience, your reality, your life can completely change just through your perception, because you cannot perceive something without your awareness, without you literally perceiving it. It doesn't exist without your conscious awareness, without you perceiving it. So you want to become aware of your thoughts, because your thoughts are influencing your perception, which is creating your reality. When you can become aware of your thoughts and you can start changing your perception, your reality changes. So it's like when you experience something that you perceive as negative, you experience something that you do not like, well, it is just your perception that is perceiving it to be negative. Now, this is going to be a little bit hard for people to understand sometimes, and this took a little bit for me to get, because I was a victim, I blamed everyone and whatever. But trust me when I say this, just test it, right? Test it in your own world. When you experience something that is negative, you have a negative experience, your reaction is based on your perception, how you perceive this experience. And usually it is a reflection of how you see yourself. So if someone, let's say, calls you ugly and you react to it, now a lot of the times, like the probably majority of the time, like if someone were to react to something negative, like to react negatively to someone calling you ugly, then that could just be because you believe them. So your perception is like you get defensive, you get upset because someone calls you ugly, because deep down you believe it, you think it's true. So that's why you perceive that experience to be negative, and that's why you get defensive, because it hurts you. Why does it hurt you? Because it is literally poking that bear. It is literally shining a light on that part of you that doesn't like you, that thinks you're ugly, and it's exposing that. That's why, like, when people say hurtful things to other people and you look at them and you're like, well, obviously they're just projecting, because there is a part of them that they don't like within themselves. That's why they judge. That's why people judge. They judge because that they're seeing this person that's probably showing up as themselves authentically, and it's honestly triggering them. It's showing them something within themselves that they haven't, worked through, or that they haven't dealt with. So when I used to see people that were showing up as themselves authentically, I remember I used to get really jealous. And I wasn't jealous in like the malicious way, but I was just jealous. I was like I wish I could be like that. And what I realized is like they were just showing a part of me, like where I wasn't being authentic to myself and where I wanted to be. Obviously, like that's why jealousy is actually a really beautiful thing, because it just jealousy means that you want that thing but you can have it, and so that's why like people judge, because they're just, that person that they're judging is actually, reflecting back to them something that they haven't dealt with, something internally. And so they project. It's like shining a light on like the shadow parts of themselves that they've kind of avoided. So that's why your perception is powerful, because you can choose. It's a choice. You can choose to perceive a situation any way that you like. Bashar always says, like I always quote Bashar. Bashar says that life is meaningless. Life is meaningless. We are the ones that assign meaning to everything. So what are you assigning meaning to? And that's why I go, that's what I've kind of perfected. I'm like, my flex, and I like to brag about this, my flex is that I am so good at looking at a situation from a positive, looking at every situation from a positive. Like I don't look at things as bad, negative, not one thing. And like I might have a moment where I react, but I never look at something and react like, or think it's a negative. Like I'll have a moment and then I'll be like, it's teaching me something, like if something doesn't go the way that I want it to, then I kind of just go, because something better is planned, the universe has something better planned or whatever. Like I perfected that. I'm like, that's my biggest flex, is that I never get mad ever. And I'm really proud of myself for that, because I used to be someone who had to be in control of everything, and if something didn't go according to plan, then I'd freak out. But anyway, that's the story for another day. Now I've lost topic. Yes, so your perception creates your reality. So any situation that you perceive as negative, where can you look at it from the person of being the observer as rather than the reactor, and what can you learn from it? because there's always things that you can learn. There will always be lessons that you can learn. Life is never happening to us, it's happening for us. And wherever there is a situation that is happening that we feel like it's against us, it's actually happening for us. There is just a lesson to learn from that. And like an example I can give is like a relationship when you break up with someone and you feel like it's the worst thing in the world. Maybe they even did you dirty, I don't know. And then you look back at it and you're like, I'm so glad that I broke up with that person, or that, you know, things ended, because I wouldn't be who I am today, or I wouldn't have met this person, or, you know, I wouldn't have grown or learned the lesson. So there's always things to learn. There's always things that you can learn and grow from. Like there's always opportunities that are being presented to us where we can learn, where we can grow. It's teaching us, but we have to see it that way. And this comes down to your perception. So that's why when you can really become the observant, then you don't react. You're reacting from your ego anyway. So that's all of that. Now you've got the nervous system. The nervous system is like, I like to think of it like the hard drive of the computer. Kind of the mindset is, but also the nervous system. Like your nervous system honestly controls a lot. Like if you don't have a regulated nervous system, then you're in survival mode. And even what I talked about with the whole beliefs and observing, if you're triggered, or if you're someone that's triggered all the time, maybe you have a lot of anxiety or depression, like your nervous system is used to that chaos, is used to being anxious or stressed. That's going to be really hard to observe when you're just reacting. So your nervous system plays a key role in really changing your life and wanting to truly be happy. Because, you know, the things that we want, it's a feeling state anyway. The feelings that you want to feel alive, like you want to feel happy, you want to feel joyful, and it is a choice that you can make right now. But if you're someone that's like lived in misery your whole life, like struggled and in pain, then it's gonna be really hard. But your nervous system is what helps you calm and like regulate. The more that you regulate your nervous system, the more that you can process things, you can observe your thoughts, you can take a step back, you don't have to be doing as much, you can just be, you can relax a little more, you can kind of be grounded in your body, be centered, be anchored in. And that is honestly like life. That's how you get into the present moment. Being in the present moment, being present is something to master, to be honest, because everything is always happening in the present moment. Nothing's happening in the future. Nothing's happening in the past. It's all happening now. But our nervous system pulls us into fight or flight, and like the anxiety is the future, or the depression is in the past. Like the more that you're focused on your anxiety, your stress, what I need to do, I need to be more, I need to be here, I need to be 10 steps ahead. Oh, I should have done this. I wish this would happen. I wish I had more friends. I wish I was in a relationship. I wish I had more money. You know, like you're here, there, everywhere, but right here. And you're focusing on all the things that don't really matter, that don't actually even exist. Right? Being present right here. And I truly believe your nervous system, when you can regulate your nervous system, you can really be grounded and anchored in your body and be more present. And when you're more present, you're more appreciative and grateful and aware and intentional of things that are happening in your life. So for me, for Bali, I have been more intentional. I have been more present. So me walking on the beach is a thing to be grateful for, and I'd soak up the present moment of like, oh my God, I'm at the beach. This is something that I envisioned for the last year, wanting to travel. Just like I literally visualized like being on a beach and just being so grateful. And the fact that I then manifested it and I wasn't grateful for it, it was a bit screwy. I was like, what's going on? And it was because I was still finding things. I was still trying to get that hit. I was still really trying to chase something chase something outside of me. But there's nothing outside of me. It's all within, right now. And it's the state of being that I'm chasing anyway. It's the wanting to feel like I'm enough, wanting to feel like I'm worthy, wanting to feel like abundant, like whole, complete, wanting to feel fulfilled, like alive. It's all just a feeling. It's a state of being. And it's a state of being that you can start embodying right now. Like you can choose to start feeling abundant right now. You can choose to start feeling happy right now. You can literally choose. I'm just sit here with me. Let's go. We're going to be happy right now. For like 2 minutes, we're going to be happy. You won't want to do it because you'll be like, what? I've never done this before. This doesn't feel right. No, your body's used to chaos. You're used to, stressing, anxiety, focusing on the future. Future doesn't exist. The only time that exists right now. So with all this being said, those are the two things that I really want you to start working on and start mastering. And it takes intention and it takes conscious effort and discipline. Because when we wake up and we're not feeling the best, we're not going to want to do anything. We're not going to want to do it. We are driven by our emotions. Our decisions are based on our emotions, if you didn't know that. And sometimes when you're not feeling the best, you just want to give up. You want to go back to your old habits. And that's like where you want to implement your discipline. And I think for me, one thing that I do every day is I set the intention from the moment I wake up. Like, this is going to be an amazing day. I have a routine. I have my gratitude practice. I have my cacao. I sit in the balcony, being grateful and just seeing that, like spending that time and seeing, oh my God, like I'm in Bali, and really just soaking in that feeling that I'm here and that I'm enough and that I'm abundant because I have everything I need. I have the water, I have the resources, I have a roof over my head, and I feel into that experience. Because how amazing is that? And there are so many things that you can be grateful for right now that you can just list off in your head. But unfortunately, there are things that you can think of that you can complain about. And we complain about things more than we appreciate things. And we focus on the things that we don't like and that we don't want or that we don't have more than the things that we do have. And we have a lot to be grateful for. We have so much in our life right now to be appreciative of that you can literally start being grateful for right now. Right now, and this is going to change your state of being. This will pull you into the present moment. There are so many things that you can be grateful for right now. List them off in your head and start practicing that every single day. This is what I do, and this is helping me to wake up on the right side of the bed, with the right intentions. Very intentional, because it's so easy for me to fall back into my old habits. It is so easy to fall victim. It is so easy to just be that old version of me. Now, another big part, which I won't explain in this video, I can do another video if you want, but healing your trauma. Something that I've been really doing this year is healing my trauma, releasing a lot of emotional baggage. And I think a big part of who we are today is like layers upon layers upon layers of what we built to protect ourselves. Because really, like, I just look at every human and we all have shit. We've all gone through something in our lives. We've all suffered. We've all gone through hardships. And we're not taught how to process this in childhood. So we all just carry a lot of shit, baggage with us. And it's time to release. It's time to let go of it. Finally allow yourself to lift your shoulders up, right? Get rid of the weight of the world. And that's a big part of it, is trauma and releasing a lot of trauma. But one thing that I will say before I end this is the beauty of all of this is that nothing is permanent. Like, nothing is permanent. Your identity, your personality can literally change. It can change. It doesn't have to be fixed. Your circumstances, your reality, it's not fixed. You can literally decide in any given moment that you want to be different, or things that you want things to change, and that is the moment that things start to change. You may not see it right away, but that is the moment. That is the moment. You get to decide, I don't like this, I'm going to change this. Nothing is permanent. And that's crazy because our ego thinks when we're going through experiences that they're so fixed, or that's just it, the be all or end all. I remember going through experiences going that this is it, there's no way out of it. But there always is, because nothing is permanent. Everything is always malleable. Like, there's always changes happening, and you can change anything. Your identity. If you do not like who you are, you can change that. You literally can change that. If you don't like your personality, you can change that. And it comes down to your beliefs and how you see yourself. How you see yourself is how you show up in the world. And how you show up in the world is what you're going to experience and what life will show back to you. So if you don't like who you are, or you don't like what you're experiencing, you can change that. And it comes down to your beliefs. Like, start changing your beliefs. And this means getting honest. Like I said at the start, right? Your beliefs are, your perception is influenced by your beliefs. Therefore, creates your reality, or, is shown you a reality. So what beliefs do you want to change? What are the beliefs that are stopping you from becoming the person that you want to become? I remember when I became aware of my thoughts, I used to think that I was ugly. Like, I used to believe I was ugly. I used to believe I was dumb. I used to believe I was the dumbest person, because in school I was not good. Like, I never forget, my mum was called into school by one of my teachers, sat down and literally was like to my mum, we just need her to pass. How are we going to get her to 50%? And I felt so ashamed. I felt so dumb. I felt dumb as dog shit, that I was like, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to be here. Like, put a hoodie over my head. I want to go fucking home. And I remember thinking that. And school just made me feel dumb because I wasn't good at it. So for my whole life, I felt dumb. I felt like I couldn't speak. I felt like I couldn't talk. I just felt dumb. Like, I felt useless. I felt ugly. I felt like I was good at nothing. I was no good at anything, which is so weird because it's so backwards, because I'm actually really good at not everything, but a lot of things. But I used to believe these certain things about me, and I hated it. Like, when I became aware of my thoughts, I was like, I just don't want to see myself as this anymore. I don't want to think I'm dumb. I don't want to think I'm ugly. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to have no friends. I had no friends. And just all of these things. Like, I was so insecure. I just didn't want to be that person anymore. And I started changing it. And I literally changed. And I'm a completely different person. So whatever you do not like, you can decide that you don't want to be that person anymore. Because an identity is like a mask. It's like your identity is just like someone you choose to be, and I believe that there is who you really are, who you are to your core, like your soul, and then who you are in this physical, based on like your conditioning and your upbringing and society and stuff. But it's time to start peeling back those layers and figuring out discovering who you really are. And then when you really discover who you are, and you show up as you are, and you love who you are, that's when life changes. That's when you can really start to live life. This is when you start to live, not exist, because you're no longer living under this false identity, under this mask of who you don't want to be, because it's so hard to be someone you're not. It's harder to be someone you're not than who you are. When you show up as you are, and you're just in that energy, and you're you're unapologetically you and you love who you are, then life can be so easy, because you'll attract places, people, experiences, things to you, because you're a magnet. You're a magnet. You don't need to do anything. You just are. You just it. You get to be. And I believe, and this is going to be controversial, but I believe that I don't believe in working at all. I don't believe in working. And this is something that I'm really working on. But I don't believe in working. You know, being able, like, having to trade my time for money. Like, no, I don't believe in that. Even though I have a business, I'm still, like, working that out, because something I realized since being here is, like, when you just embody your energy, like your authentic self, your energy, which is your purest form, you could call it higher self, I don't know. But, like, when you just embody that, you attract things to you, opportunities, money, people. You don't need to do anything. And for me, like, a long time, I have not resonated with working, but even business, like, I haven't resonated with having a business. I really am trying to just embody, like, the just being, because being is, like, it's a state of being, but it's your authenticity that it's the easiest form of living. Like, it's your most fulfillment, I think, if that makes sense. Because, like, when you think of, like, doing something for something, again, that makes me think you're doing, not being. And we're human beings, right? Not doers. So for me to think that I have to do something to gain something, I don't like that. Anyway, so I've been embodying being, and what I've really learnt is that when you just be and you're in your own authenticity, like I said, you become a magnet. You don't have to do anything. So you don't have to go out in the world and chase things. Like, it's just easy and it's effortless. And that's fulfilling, and that's true happiness and aliveness, and that's where you live, not exist, you know? That's what I found really cool. And that's what I've really been embracing. And it's tested me, because I am so used to doing, like I said, like, I'm used to running my business, and now I'm not really running my business. So it's testing my ego of, like, well, how are you going to get clients? How's this going to happen? But this is all part of the human experience. This is it. So happiness is a choice, and it's a state of being. Remember that. And when you can become the observer of your thoughts rather than just reacting, and you can regulate the fuck out of your nervous system, I think your life is going to get a whole lot fucking better, in my personal opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below what you want me to talk about, or what you are struggling with. Comment below what you're struggling with. Comment below what video you want me to make. And hit me up on my Instagram, on my TikTok. I have so many videos on those platforms as well. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And I'll see you next time.